Hey everyone, Dragon Empress here, and we're back to shipping in MHA Part 3. This time we're going to talk about a ship that has instantly come to my mind ever since the Mr. Smiley short Laugh Like You're in Hell Hell came out. Smile Joke, aka Mrs. Joke x Mr. Smiley. Now, when I first saw the character of Smiley, I thought, hey, this is gonna be goofy and stupid when I first saw the concept art drop. But then I watched the full short and realized, hey, he's an artist just like me. And he makes people laugh with his quirk. That's adorable, and that's way too similar to Joke. And they even mention Joke in the short, so I'm like, yup, this is a ship made in heaven.
He can force his opponents to start laughing, which means he's a lot like Miss Joke.
Over for Joke Azawa fans, you got a new guy in town. This would be the most wholesome couple ever, especially since Mrs. Joke usually annoys Aizawa, and he usually doesn't tolerate that, especially her bad jokes. But I think Mr. Smiley would laugh at all of her bad jokes and even encourage her to make some more, as well as them both taking out bad guys by making them instantly laugh with both their similar quirks. That would be so cool. Or like if he was an art teacher and he could teach the physically disabled or blind about art, because like you have to see his smile in order for his quirk to activate on you. Just him helping out kids who can't even see their art. And yes, there's such thing as blind artists before. I've seen famous ones, but it would be so wholesome if they could at least have someone help the disabled in this series, because we hardly got any disabled stuff in My Hero Academia besides Izuku breaking some limbs and Remu, Bunny Girl being disabled. But that's just a minor thing. They didn't even show disabled children, they just showed disabled adults. So I think it would be very wholesome if he at least helped a disabled classroom. I also think it would be wholesome if he and Mrs. Joke had a daughter named Katawa, because that would be so cute, and me and my friend Magical Cheese Balls made this daughter for him that they both take care of in the future. He did mention that he can't fight crime, so he might as well take care of these kids while his wife does all the fighting. But nevertheless, this ship is adorable. I give it a 10 out of 10. It is a very healthy relationship. Now, this couple has been on my mind for a while, ever since I entered Wattpad. I shipped them when I first watched the sports festival art. I even made a drawing challenge on them. Tenya Ida x Psycho Intelli, or Tentelli for short, is the most adorable, nerdy, and awkward couple I've ever came across, and it isn't even canon. They didn't even interact once. I mean, Intelli only interacted with Momo, but even so, they have that kind of love triangle vibe going on. But the reason why I ship Ida with Intelli instead of Momo is because Intelli gives off that competent leader, smart type of vibe, just like Ida does. Ida is somewhat more clumsy with it and somewhat more strict. He pretty much criticizes a lot. And Intelli is the opposite. She takes criticism to a T and absolutely uses her quirk and intelligence to master all situations. The only problem is she was flustered when she ended up encountering the emotion of teamwork and love over logic and thinking, which is why I think she would be a mess around Ida. If you haven't read the books I displayed on screen, Psycho X Intelligenius, it's a very good example of that. And I think if they ever interacted in the canon series, it would pretty much be like that. It's like logical thinking versus love and emotional thinking. And I think it would be very adorable if they worked together as a team, both leading together or at least challenging the same guy, Stain, since I think she's in the hero business for the money, and Stain is against that. And while Ida was in it to save his brother for revenge, what Stain was against, I think they would both work together very well fighting Stain. And it would be very cool to see their morals and ideals challenged by Stain, since they're both already born into a rich house, born into a rich family, or what I assume from Intelli. And Ida's no tolerance for bullying would help her actually stop making fun of and belittling people, even though she respected Momo at the end of the battle. He would absolutely despise those two together. Ida would learn to be less uptight from Intelli, and Intelli would learn to at least be more nice to people from him. She also pretty much met his brother through text, and his brother, Tensi Ida, he has a huge crush on Intelli to the point it's like annoying to both of them. Especially annoying to Ida since he doesn't tolerate that kind of flirting with his girlfriends. So yeah, I think this couple, like Twice-in, also holds a lot of comedic potential. Again, you could check out my texting videos if you want to. Nonetheless, some people hate this couple since they didn't interact on screen, and I say screw that! I go by personality, not necessarily just because they stand next to each other or have like a few moments of dialogue. You could still ship off-screen couples and on-screen couples as long as the personalities bounce off of each other or make an interesting story. And Psycho Intelli and Tenya Ida have a very interesting story. I made Intelli have parents in this story. The mom agreeing to Ida being her boyfriend, and the dad not agreeing at all whatsoever since he sees him as lower class. I made them friends with different people like Rico and Romero Fujimi. And I've even made her flirt with him on occasion and him get all flustered. I even made them have a son in the future AU named Isamu Ida. He is so adorable and he's the smartest kid ever. There's so many things you could do with this ship and I love it so much. This ship I rarely got to draw, so sorry if I don't have enough pictures for them. But this one is Jetten x Fuyumi. And Fuyumi is rarely talked about or rarely seen in the anime. We've only seen her when the Todoroki family is mentioned or seen in the story. Even so, she doesn't have much to do. She's just a supporting sister. She pretty much acts like a nice girl. She's even nice to Deku, which led to some shipping bait. But either way, the reason why I shipped Jetten with Fuyumi is because they both have ice powers, they both have white hair, and one is affiliated with the League of Villains, aka the Paranormal Liberation Front, and could spark some controversy since Dabi is also a villain and also part of the League of Villains. It could make his rivalry with Jetten more interesting in terms of
hey, I screwed your sister, and now we gotta fight!
It's more comedic potential as well as story drama added in there, because we hardly get any drama with the Yumi involved. The only drama we get with the Yumi involved is that she wants to get the family back together. Like, her going off dating this guy without anyone noticing until it's too late and they find out would be very fascinating. Especially since we hardly get that kind of stuff on MHA. Like, honestly, I don't even remember a single scene where a villain falls in love with a good guy, or even a citizen, because that's what she is, just a regular citizen. She doesn't do action-packed stuff, she doesn't have that much to do with her quirk, even though she has powers, ice powers. And her family is very, very tragic. On top of that, she's dating a villain. That would be the icing on the cake, and it would make this focus on her very interesting. So this is one of the couples where I ship it just to be more interesting instead of the contrast where I know what's going on, because I have absolutely no clue what's going to go on with this couple, but whatever it is, it's going to be comedic and action-packed potential, because I want more rivalries in this show. And Dabi versus Jetten, that should have been explored more since ice melts! It also is a fresh escape away from the will they won't they trope. Instead, I love the trope where the couple has to hide their secret from everyone else. It's pretty awesome. If you haven't seen the Training of the Dead short OVA, I highly recommend it. It's super hilarious, super fun, super adorable, and action-packed. But the one that comes from that OVA is Habuko Mongoose. I ship her with Setsuna Tokage from class 1B. And the reason why I think they go together is purely for aesthetic reasons. But the personalities quite like mesh over each other, like opposites attract. Setsuna is very outward, very tough, can fight an opponent and pretty much defend herself. Despite having a snake head, Mongoose is the complete opposite. She's cowardly, she shivers a lot, she hides behind her friend Suyu, and she absolutely can freeze her opponents just by a glance, so she doesn't even have to fight. I always loved the tough girl ex-shy girl trope, the fact that she could protect Mongoose when she needs it, and Setsuna could also teach Mongoose how to be less cowardly and fend for herself physically, not just with her quirk. It's very adorable, and I think this would go great in the anime if it was a short OVA about them being a couple. I know people ship Froppy with Mongoose, but I don't think it would go well since they're each their predatory and prey animal. It's like shipping a cat with a mouse. I just don't think it'll end well. I like their wholesome friendship as is in the OVA. It should stay that way. The second reason why I shipped Habuko with Setsuna is because they both have snake quirks, and they're also based on snake-like animals. Like, Habuko is based on the fact that snakes sometimes stun people, or snakes usually brainwash people in media. And Setsuna is based on the fact that you could cut a snake in several different pieces, because Setsuna's quirk makes her able to split her body into several different pieces but still survive, just like a snake. As well as that old newspaper photo of a snake being split. So yeah, it's pretty much a very adorable aesthetic that needs to be explored in the anime. Not because of plot reasons, I usually do plot reasons, but just because of filler. And it would be very comedic of them to like kiss on screen only for it to be censored, since it's like two snake tongues lashing against each other and the characters around them just react in disgust. That would be so funny to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my OT3! Minjiroki is a couple I've been shipping for a long time, because at first I shipped Mina with Denki instead of Jiro. And then I shipped Jiro with Mina. And then I went back to Denki and Jiro, and then I decided, hey, maybe all three deserve to be bisexual together. Because let's be honest, we hardly hear anything bisexual in media or anime in general. It's usually either gay, lesbian, or straight, that's it. And I think this couple would definitely break the mold in MHA. It would make Denki's story very interesting, a lot more fascinating, because we never explored bisexuality in teenagers, or bisexual friendships in general. It would also be awesome to see them do a group attack full of electricity and loud sounds, along with Mina's acid, to burn and irrate the enemy. I know that's kind of dark, but still. We usually get dark stuff in MHA and then they're afraid to go all out with it. I use Amplifier X Present Mic as an excuse to put songs in my fanfictions. So this is pretty much the musical couple for me. For those of you who don't know, Amplifier is from the movie Two Heroes, and she is a background character who has the quirk voice. It's pretty much the same quirk as Present Mic's, in which it makes her voice inhumanly loud. And I think they would drive people insane if they ever had sex without someone noticing. Actually, everyone would notice. Everyone in the neighborhood, the rooftops, even underneath them would notice that they're having sex or partying. Not only is this ship aesthetically pleasing, but they're also announcers for certain events. Like, he was announcer for the sports festival, and she was an announcer in the Two Heroes movie for the iExpo. And they pretty much have very excited, eccentric personalities. I think they would both be very immature and party a lot or get drunk. So I don't think it would be even appropriate for TV, but whatever. Nothing's stopping me from shipping these two. Not only that, but I made her a rock star in my canon, and Present Mike is a DJ in canon, so it would be very cute if they both sung a duet together, or at least rocked out, or she remixed his songs and he remixed her songs. It would be so freaking adorable just to watch these two together. Also, they would absolutely annoy Aizawa, especially when they talk together or when they spend time together on video call. Amplamic, in my opinion, is the loudest couple I've made, and they're pretty much a party hard couple. And I've made them a son, but I'm still not sure what to name the son. Let me know if you have suggestions in the comments. And since Amplifier is scared of Bakugo, Present Mike would pretty much protect her from him, or make silly jokes, or pretty much poke Bakugo's head so he could go away from her. It would be so hilarious to watch that in action. Just too bad she only appeared in the Two Heroes movie and nothing else. Like, come on, wasted potential. Only a few more ships to go. Come on, we're almost at the end. I'm sorry if this series has taken forever, but I hope you enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm going to talk about Militia X Kaishiko next time. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to tap that bell for notifications. Bye bye!